When you look at the U.S. China trade war, we had a feeling that actually the U.S. wanted a deal so badly that they would get one at any cost. Are we kind of rethinking that theory now?
Well, even from the Chinese perspective, again, a deal is kind of needed. And this has been an overhang for the market sentiment-wise for the past year. It's almost a bit of fatigue in the market now, but definitely eroded sentiment along with the very tight liquidity environment last year, and hence why the Chinese government's really on this accommodative policy stance.
So would we get, Joyce, an agreement that holds? I guess that's the number one. Even if we get an agreement, can it hold for, will it be a substantive agreement?
Well, after 9 rounds of negotiations, I do think you're going to see an agreement. Now, its durability is another question. And we've seen whether it is U.S.-Europe or any of these trade negotiations that the ability to endure is an issue. But we understand that some of the issues that they're really debating in these final hours are the enforcement mechanisms, in particular, and whether some of these retaliatory tariffs will be removed. I think that's what the next 2 rounds of negotiations will center on.
We're thrilled to have both of you with us today. Catherine Yeung, let me start with you. Do you see any indication of what the Chinese thinking is within these trade negotiations? I can't find in the media and in analysis any actual analysis of what the Chinese want.
Well, very interestingly, at the Belt and Road Summit last week held in Beijing with about 40 countries attending,
yes,
President Xi Jinping made this speech, and there was a lot of hinting there in terms of what he wants to do, and it all revolves around the transparency, whether it's got customs or imports or, again, the state-owned enterprises and the subsidies that China does provide these state-owned companies. So I think we are making some improvements, but just because we do see a resolution to the tariff issue doesn't mean that it's all going to be fine going forward. So for the next 3 to 5 years, expect this sort of toing and froing between these 2 economies and 2 countries, which will weigh on the market.